Good morning, everyone. So today in this session, we are going to see about the climb performance. So takeoff, climb, cruise, descent, and landing. So this climb performance, we are going to see how the aircraft is going to behave and what are the parameters we need to calculate in this climb performance. Okay, right. So without wasting much time, we will get into the session. So in climb, the aircraft is going to be following in an inclined path, whereas in the cruise, it is going in a straight path, horizontal path, but in the climb, it is going in a inclined path. Okay, so that is the difference. So how inclined that climb angle will be? So climb angle is nothing but it is measured with, so if this is a takeoff and we are climbing, right? So this is the ground surface. So the angle between the ground and the flight path is called as climb angle, and it is denoted by gamma. Climb angle. Okay. So whereas this, depending upon this climb angle, the forces, all the forces will be also changed. Okay. So how it is going to change and what are the parameters are important for calculating the climb performance. So that we will see in this entire session. Okay, right. So it is going in an inclined manner. So what will happen surely? In cruise, we have solved with equation of motion. So what we have derived, lift is equal to W, thrust is equal to drag. This is what we have derived in the cruise level, steady state level. So similarly for climb, we need to calculate the equation of motion. Okay. So how it is calculated? By identifying summation of horizontal forces equal to 0, because we are speaking about equilibrium condition. So summation of horizontal forces equal to 0, summation of vertical forces equal to 0. Right. So let's see how the forces behave in the climb performance. Okay, climb. So always weight will be acting perpendicular to the air surface. So it is always perpendicular to the flat surface. So W will be acting downward. W will be acting downward. So perfectly downward. But lift is not going to act perpendicularly up, since we are not flying in the cruise level. We are flying in an inclined manner. So obviously lift will be acting perpendicular to the flight free stream velocity, or we can say flight path. Okay. So lift is perpendicular to the flight path, not along with the weight. Okay. So what will happen? Lift is not going to be equal to weight. So first thing, since we are going in an inclined flight path, obviously thrust is also not going to be equal to drag. Thrust is also not going to be equal to drag. So thrust value and lift value will be changing. Okay. Both the values will be changing from the cruise level, considering because we have studied cruise. So I'm just giving with the cruise level examples. Okay. So each and every phase will be having different thrust and different power. Takeoff thrust will be different, climb thrust will be different, cruise thrust will be different, descent thrust will be different, and landing thrust will be different. Okay. So these things you need to keep in mind. So how these forces can be resolved? Since weight is acting here downward, so I'm drawing only the forces. Okay, lift is acting here, and thrust is acting here, and obviously drag is acting here. Okay, so if I want to make equilibrium conditions by resolving the forces, right? So this angle will be also given with gamma. Okay, so since gamma is here, flight path angle, right? So this here will be corresponding angles will be gamma, and here also it will be supplementary angle will be gamma. Okay, so you can look at this. You can easily calculate gamma. So this angle is also gamma. So resolving the forces, we will be getting W cos gamma here and W sin gamma here. So just resolving the forces. We are just resolving the forces. So I am explaining again how the gamma came, because I am sure that you might have not done engineering mechanics subject, right? Did you had engineering mechanics subject in your curriculum? Engineering mechanics, how to resolve forces. Have you done before that or not? How to resolve forces? Yes. Okay, fine. That will help. Right. So how we are going to do this? Gamma is here, right? So this is what I am writing. Weight is acting downward, and thrust is acting along the direction, and drag is also acting just in the opposite. Okay. And lift is perpendicular to the drag force. So this is how the aircraft forces are going to be acting when we are climbing. Okay. So I am just taking two reference axes. One is here I am taking, which is perpendicular to weight. Another one is which is perpendicular to the thrust. Two reference lines I am taking. So the angle between thrust and the reference line which I have taken, that will be given as gamma, because corresponding angle. So this is the flat earth, and you can consider like that. So corresponding angle are equal, gamma, right? So here we are having already an angle between weight and that reference line is 90 degree. So this angle can be given with 90 minus gamma. 90 minus gamma. So this is angle also 90. Right? So this is 90 minus gamma. So this angle, what I am going to take reference right here. This angle need to be measured. So already we are having a 90 degree, and here we are having 90 minus gamma. So 90 degree minus of 90 minus gamma. So substitute this minus here. 90 will get cancelled. Minus into minus plus. So this angle will be coming as gamma. So we are resolving the forces, which is cos gamma here and W sin gamma here. Okay. Just we are resolving the forces. In this image, they have not given properly. They have just directly given. So this is how we have to resolve the forces. Okay. W sin gamma, W cos gamma. It is a simple angle measurement. So you can do it easily. Right? Fine. So coming into the horizontal forces, summation of horizontal forces and summation of vertical forces. So what are the horizontal forces? Thrust is acting forward. So we have taken as positive. Drag is acting backward. So we are taking it as negative. And W sin gamma is also acting backward. So we are taking it as negative. And we are equating with 0 because we are saying equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium condition. So thrust minus drag minus W sin gamma is equal to 0. So vertical forces, lift is acting upward. So we are taking positive. W cos gamma is acting downward. So we are taking as negative. Minus W cos gamma equal to 0. Fine. So this too is the equation of motion for climb performance. Equation of motion for climb performance. Right. So what happens? We have find with gamma, right? Gamma is angle of climb. So as I told earlier, we are going to find two factors. One is gamma. Another one is climb speed. So what is the difference between climb speed and aircraft speed? So aircraft speed is given with this inclined distance, right? This is the velocity of the aircraft. But climb speed means it refers with altitude. We are taking off. Let's consider we are taking off from sea level, right? And we are going to climb up to 5 kilometer altitude. 5 kilometer altitude. Okay, we can consider like that. So this measurement of altitude, how much speed we are attaining with respect to vertical speed, that is called as climb speed. It is denoted by VC, R by C. It can be denoted by R by C. With various books, you can find various notations. Okay. or it can be also determined given by dh by dt, where h is altitude, t is time. Okay, dh by dt, climb speed, climb velocity, speed of climb, speed of velocity of climb, rate of climb, all these parameters are same. So suppose if you are reading any other book, they may mention rate of climb. Some book they might have mentioned climb speed, right? And notations will also vary. So you need to understand the concept, then you can easily calculate the parameters. Okay. So here, yes, good. VSI. I hope in your instruments you might have already studied vertical speed indicator, right? So vertical speed indicator will give you the value of rate of climb. It will show the value of rate of climb, like speedometer in a bike, right? So that is one of the instrument which will give rate of climb. Okay, speed of climb. Pilot can able to see the readings, but it is our duty to instruct the pilot which is suitable rate of climb. So as a designer, I will be calculating for my aircraft what is the suitable rate of climb, and I will be giving the details to the pilot, so he will fly at that rate of climb. Okay, so let's see how it can be done. So velocity of the aircraft is given as v, and vertical speed is given as vc. Okay, so the angle between these two parameters is gamma. Right, this is the angle vc. So sine gamma, taking sine gamma will give us opposite by adjacent, right? Sine gamma. Opposite VC by V. Sorry, opposite by hypotenuse. So VC is opposite and V is hypotenuse. So VC by V. It can be also written as velocity of climb is equal to velocity of the aircraft into sine of angle of climb multiplied by sine of angle of climb. Okay, so this is how it will be determined. It is how this will be determined. Okay. Please wait 1 minute, dear students. There are some instructions are going on in the lab. Please wait for that. Okay. Sorry. So climb speed is given with V sine gamma. Okay, V sine gamma. VC climb speed is equal to V sine gamma. So from the same equation, we can also take. So this is equation 1. So from here also we can calculate sine gamma, which is given with forces, right? Thrust minus drag divided by W. Thrust minus drag divided by W. So thrust, drag, and weight. So if we have the forces value, we can also calculate angle of climb. Okay. So with the help of angle of climb, we can calculate the speed of climb also. So these two factors are very much important. So VC is equal to R by C, DH by DT, DH by DT. Okay. Fine. So I hope you can understand how we are going to calculate that. So let's move on to solve a problem so that you can easily get it how to calculate the value of climb speed and angle of climb. And thrust also, thrust required and power required. So please note down the problem. An airplane of weight 1,80,000 Newton has a wing area of 45 meters square, and drag polar given by CD is equal to CD naught plus KCL square. CD naught plus KCL square. Obtain the thrust required and power required for given rate of climb. Okay, so they have given rate of climb and they have given speed of aircraft also with respect to 3 kilometer altitude. So they want to know us how much thrust required and power required. So before entering into the problem, you have to remember one thing. Thrust required formula is not going to be same as what we have done for cruise level, because thrust value will be different. So thrust required, what we have calculated for cruise is not going to be applicable for any other phases. So thrust required is different for climb, power required is different for climb. So we need to find the formula for thrust required and power required. Okay. So here also they have given obtain the thrust required and power required. And they have given the value of rate of climb R by C and speed of the aircraft V. We can take it as VC, R by C, anything. Okay. So whenever I'm saying some factor, you just understand with that it is indicating speed of climb. Right. So let's move on. Okay. Thank you. That if you understand that, that is fine. If you understand that, that is fine. If you are not able to understand, please let me know. Right. Okay. So given data, weight of the aircraft is given, area of wing is given, drag polar equation is given, VC, that is climb speed is given, and we are converting that to meter per second, 33.33 meter per second. Aircraft velocity is 150 meter per second. Aircraft velocity is 150 meter per second. So rho at 3 kilometer altitude, we have already solved in the first unit itself how to calculate density for various altitude. So using that, we have derived 0.90 kilogram per meter. So first thing is we have to calculate angle of climb. Since rate of climb and speed of the aircraft is already given, right? Rate of climb and speed of the aircraft is already given. So finding out of angle of climb is not a big deal. So angle of climb is sine of gamma equal to VC by V. That is opposite by hypotenuse, right? So 33.3 divided by 150. Okay. In meter per second it is given. So taking sine inverse, we can find gamma is 12 degree 15 minutes. Okay, 50 minutes. So how it can be done? Like the aircraft is going to have a climb at 3 kilometer altitude. So it is not sea level, it is 3 kilometer altitude. So initially it will be flying in a cruise level. Let's consider like that. Cruise level, and then it starts to climb. Okay. So the pilot will be instructed like if you are going with 12 degree angle of climb, if you are maintaining 12 degree angle of climb, that will be very much sufficient. You can follow with 33 meter per second. So this will be recorded with VSI. VSI, vertical speed indicator, right? And we are already having airspeed indicator, which will give you the data of V. So as a design engineer, I have to find out which is the suitable angle of climb so that I can get minimum thrust and minimum power. Again, the term is coming. So that's why I am said, please listen the classes carefully from the beginning itself. Thrust required minimum at cruise level is different. Thrust required minimum at climb is different. But always we have to go for minimum thrust. In all the phases, we have to go for minimum thrust because minimum thrust will give good fuel efficient, right? Efficiency will be good. So minimum condition, minimum drag condition, minimum power condition, both are having advantage of its own. Okay. So choosing this angle of climb and rate of climb is one of the important factors. Okay. So the pilot will be instructed like, okay, if you go with 33.33 meter per second in VSI and 150 meter per second in airspeed indicator, depending upon in knots, right? We have to say in knots, but since we are following SI units, these problems are solved in SI units. So the pilot will fly there and he can acquire with thrust minimum values and power minimum values suitably. So once the angle of climb is determined, we are going to calculate the lift. So why we are calculating lift? Because obviously we need to calculate thrust and power, right? So thrust equation, right? The first equation you can see. From the first equation, thrust force can be calculated. Thrust is equal to, from this equation, drag plus W sin gamma. So gamma we have derived. Weight of the aircraft is already given. Drag we need to determine, right? Drag we need to determine. So CD, drag polar equation, is already given. So if you find the drag value, then we can calculate the thrust also, right? Then we can easily calculate the thrust value. So to calculate the drag value, it is given with drag polar equation. Obviously, we need to find CL, coefficient of lift. So once the lift force is calculated, we can calculate coefficient of lift and substitute this coefficient of lift in the drag polar equation. You can calculate coefficient of drag. So from the coefficient of drag, obviously you can calculate drag force, right? Drag force. So substitute all these known parameters, we can easily derive the thrust value from the equation, given equation. See, all these parameters are interlinked. If there is no proper thrust, we cannot fly in a required path, right? And if you are not able to calculate the drag, right? So we cannot go for required engine power capability, right? So these parameters are interlinked. You cannot avoid those parameters. So once the lift is found out, we can calculate CL. Once CL is determined using the drag polar equation, we can calculate coefficient of drag, CD. So once coefficient of drag is calculated, we can calculate drag force. So when the drag force is calculated, we can go for thrust during climb. Okay. So this is how these parameters are interlinked. Okay. Cos gamma, it is given with cos gamma. Okay, so you just substitute this value in the radian or in the degree, you will get the value of cos gamma. Okay. So here, once we have calculated the lift, so we know that CL is equal to 2W cos gamma divided by rho V square S. Right? Just we are substituting instead of L, we are substituting W cos gamma. So weight we already know, gamma we already know, density we have calculated for 3 km altitude, speed of the aircraft already we have derived, surface area of the wing, so that is also derived. So using that you can calculate CLC. CLC means coefficient of lift during climb. Coefficient of lift during climb. Okay, CLC, that is 0.381. So using drag polar equation, we can calculate CD 0.0 2426. See, I'm giving the data directly, but I request all of you to solve the problem so that you can easily, you can at least note down the parameters. So when we are having time in the later part, after your MST2, we can solve that again with various parameters. Okay. So drag force is determined with the half rho V square S CD. So substitute the CD value here. So drag is determined, drag during climb. DC means drag during climb. Okay, during climb is 11,163 Newton. 11,163 Newton. So this is the thrust required equation. So we know the weight value. We know the angle of climb. Now we have determined drag also. So substitute all these parameters. So thrust required for this configured aircraft. For this configured aircraft is 51,160 Newton. So the pilot will know that as a design engineer, I have derived this value, right? So I will be instructing the pilot for this aircraft, for this altitude, that is 3 kilometer altitude, you have to choose, you have to create like 51,160 Newton so that you can climb in an angle of 12 degrees. So this much thrust is required. Okay, so the pilot will go for that thrust required. Okay, so similarly, power required is very simple. Mechanical power is given with thrust into velocity. So here we are converting that into kilowatt. So we are dividing by 1000. Okay, we are converting to kilowatt. So we are dividing by 1000. So thrust required we have calculated for climb. Velocity of the aircraft is already in the problem statement itself. So using that, we can go for power required value, which is 7,674 kilowatt. 7,674 kilowatt. So when you are choosing engine for your aircraft, right? When you are choosing engine for your aircraft, you have to make sure that the thrust available is more than this and power available is more than this, so that your aircraft can fly or climb with this objective, like 3 kilometer objective. Okay, so it is our duty to choose the engine. As a design engineer, we have to choose the required engine for our aircraft. Okay, so with this, I am ending today's session, and I will take attendance right now. So if you are having doubt, please type in the chat box. We can discuss. Any doubt, please type in the chat box. We can discuss. Any doubt, you can type in the chat box. We can discuss.